What's up, everybody? Welcome into MLB DFS Live for Monday, August 10th. I'm your host, Ben Hustler, joined by Justin Bales. Bales, we had quite the fun time in Discord today. Bales, myself, Sriracha, we were all in the NBA Premium channel breaking down these injuries and stuff live in real time. This is the value of having a membership to our website. Obviously, we come on here on the stream every day for free. We write free articles, but if you have a membership, you have Discord access. You can literally be in the channel with us, real time, us breaking down this crazy NBA slate. That was one of the craziest locks of all time with that DeAndre Ayton stuff, though.
Yeah, that just ridiculous. It got Boban out of my lineup. We were talking about it. I don't like it, but it put Baisley in, and obviously he's going nuts. So it's not like I completely got screwed by it, because also I don't have DeAndre Ayton, who has like 10. But, I mean, it never feels good to not play Boban when it looks like he's going to get 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah, Bales and I both swapped off Ayton. Even if we were talking about this before the stream, but even if he ended with like 70 fantasy points, I still think swapping was the right move, considering he wasn't even at the arena when that game started. So I'll take that every time. But before we get into the slate, shout out to our sponsor, SuperDraft. You can head over to superdraft.io, sign up using promo code KARMA. gets you a $10 deposit bonus. There was some tasty multipliers over the weekend. There was some tasty multipliers on SuperDraft for NBA today. Boban came in with a 1.95x multiplier on the NBA
Yeah.
slate. 2x the Boban points. Absolute lock there. But it's really fun. New way to play fantasy. No salary cap. Play whoever you want. Definitely head over and check that out. I know a lot of people on our Discord have been having some fun on SuperDraft, so it's definitely worthwhile to go check that out. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask. We're going to dive into the pitchers here. Bales, briefly, we talked before I fired this stream up. You don't seem too enthused with Patrick Corbin today. My logic on Corbin is, A, he's the best pitcher on the slate, in my opinion. He has the highest strikeout upside. Not a great matchup against the Mets, but I haven't really worried about the tougher matchups early on in the season. It's pretty clear pitching's been ahead of the hitters early on in this MLB season. Like I said, Corbin has the highest upside, and with the way some of the pricing is on DK, it's just easy to fit him. Like if he was hard to fit and I was taking course guys out of my lineup to get to him, I would be more inclined not to play him. But I can easily fit in a full course stack and still play Patrick Corbin, so he's most likely going to be in my cash game lineup tonight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't hate it. It's Patrick Corbin. He's really good, but the Mets do have a solid offense. It's not like it's a super easy matchup. My thing is more or less, I was just looking to scoot down to Gibson and Dustin May as my two that I'm looking at, but I mean, I wouldn't really be mad at you if you play Corbin, Gibson, or anything. It's fine, and there's just because there's no pitching on the slate again. Like it seems like every other day we don't have any pitchers, and by every other day I mean we have one day with a ton of pitchers, and then 4 days where they're just awful.
Yeah, I mean, we had some stacked pitching slates over the weekend. That Saturday slate was crazy, if I remember right. I don't even know what day it is, but I'm pretty sure it was Saturday, where it's just absolutely loaded with pitchers. But it does leave us with some pretty lackluster days. So Corbin, I think, is the clear number one. So Gibson is definitely going to be my number two. So I think how people are going to use this is it's going to be Kyle Gibson versus Lance McCullers for that SP2 slot. I am more inclined to fade McCullers today. I don't know about you, but so we talked about this before his last start. He looked really good in that training camp start that they showed on ESPN. It was right before the season started. Looked really good. Hasn't looked that good since then. I faded him in his last start, and he did not pitch well, so that was a good call on our part. But he just hasn't been getting swings and misses. I mean, his swinging strikes are way down. Strikeout rate, corresponding with that is down. And I don't know if anything's overly wrong with him. I would have to really dig in there and look at the movement on his pitches and stuff. But I think I have no reason, if he's going to be owned, which I think he's going to be owned against San Fran, especially on this slate, I do think he's going to pick up a decent amount of ownership. I don't really want to play him when I just don't know about the strikeouts. I'm just going to wait and see. Gibson is not someone that's going to, in a vacuum, McCullers has way higher strikeout upside than Kyle Gibson. But Kyle Gibson is not a bad pitcher. He has slightly above average strikeout stuff, can get double-digit swinging strikes, which is good. And obviously the matchup with Seattle, this Seattle team projects to strike out over 26% of the time against right-handed pitching. And he also gets, Jack just asked about this in chat, so this is good segue, but this Rangers ballpark, this new Rangers park, I mean, this is playing really, really pitcher-friendly. So he also gets the bump of being able to pitch in that park tonight against a really bad offense. So I do think Kyle Gibson's the clear number two for me, and I'm probably just going to fade McCullers. If he beats me, I will accept my L on that, but I'm just going to wait and see when it comes to him.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I'm actually a Kyle Gibson fan. I think he's a legitimately good pitcher. And now that he's throwing in Texas's new stadium, I watched Texas relatively early in the season, and I'm talking they were just hitting shots off of the pitchers. It was when Bumgarner played there, and I can't even tell you how hard Todd Frazier was hitting these balls against him, and he did get a home run in that game, but they were just dying in the outfield and barely going anywhere. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, for more numbers on it. But just based on the couple times that I've watched them, it seems like Texas is just super pitcher friendly. And I don't know if like most casual people are going to know that. They're probably going to see Texas, that has been a hitter-friendly stadium for years, and then they might move on past Gibson because he's relatively expensive as the third most or the third highest priced on the entire slate.
Yeah, it's definitely not something people have adjusted to. So the question after that is where do you go after those three? Because I think Dallas Keuchel is going to pick up a good amount of ownership. He's really cheap on FanDuel, if I remember correct. So I think he's going to get some ownership there, obviously against the Tigers. I'm going to keep the same rule of thumb that I always use with Dallas Keuchel, and it's that I just really don't play him in DFS. I know he's coming off that really big start, but he has a couple big starts a year in terms of strikeouts. But generally, he's not a high strikeout pitcher. Obviously, the Tigers are a high strikeout offense, but Keuchel is someone that can only get around 16, 17% strikeouts to right-handed batters, and the Tigers are going to send out all righties. Like they're going to send out 8 or 9 righties today. So it's just not a good matchup for him. It's not someone that I play anyways. So if he has a great start in terms of run prevention, I will not be shocked, but it's not someone that I'm going to play in daily fantasy. And if he's owned, I think that's just even more reason not to play him.
Yeah. I actually wrote him up in my article because I don't see him being that owned on DraftKings just because he's right above Dustin May. And truth be told, why would you play him instead of Dustin May? For me, he's been good against right-handed batters this year, which I know the sample size is super small, but I'm not really, I guess, looking for him to strike out 10 guys. I more or less just want a really good start because I don't trust any of the pitchers. And then we know that the Tigers do strike out a decent amount. So if he gets a few extra, I wouldn't complain about it. Outside of that, I mean, we more or less talked about him. And then obviously May, I don't think we really went in depth, but he just played the Padres in San Diego. Now he gets him in Dodger Stadium, and he dropped almost 30 fantasy points against them there. Aside from them, I mean, it's rough. Take your shot on Steven Matz if you want. He throws really well at home. I probably won't be going there, but I think if you really want to, you can. Or Robbie Ray, because he has so much strikeout potential. But even throwing in Coors, I also probably won't be going there. So this seems more or less like a eat the chalk situation at pitcher, and then just try to see what happens with the rest of your lineup.
Yeah, I agree with you on DraftKings. If we're going back to Keuchel, 7,800 on FanDuel for Keuchel. I think that's where you're going to see some ownership pick up on him. Like that's 3,000 less than Corbin. I think he could get some ownership
Yeah,
there.
that wouldn't even bother me though, because you get that bonus points for the quality start and whatnot. So
Yeah,
I don't necessarily hate him on FanDuel, but if he's going to be high owned, I don't really want to play Keuchel high owned.
okay. So FanDuel 300 more than May. Who you take in there? Because I'm still going to take May. I think.
I'll take May.
Yeah, I mean Dustin May. If you guys don't know, that this is one of the top pitching prospects in baseball, famous for his hair, I would say. But I mean this guy, this guy is good. Okay, so I don't know. I know this has nothing to do with baseball, but the Jazz like completely benched everybody to start
Yeah, I
the second
saw
half.
Gobert's
Yeah,
out. So
Gobert's done. Nice,
yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
really good for me.
I'm glad I didn't play him on DK, but I do have him on FanDuel, so he's gonna end with like 22 points. That's sick. But
Is Bobin still in? Am I still getting screwed by
I think
Bobin here?
Boban is still in, but I'll have to check. But yeah, so May, this guy is nasty, man. He can regularly paint. I don't know if you guys have watched or if you guys know who Pitching Ninja is on Twitter. Obviously, a great follow. He's got tons of gifts of Dustin May, but I mean, this guy can literally paint 99 on the corner, and it's just really tough for guys to hit at any level. The Padres' offense is much better this year than it has been in years past, but they're still a high strikeout offense against righties. I do think they get an advantage that they just saw Dustin May literally in his last start. That is an advantage to the hitters, I think, but I do like May in GPPs. Gabriel says he's signing up today for core plays. Gabriel, I know you're a longtime follower on Twitter, so I'm glad to see you signing up. I definitely appreciate that. Frosty says, can't wait to stack the best offense in the league at under 10%. And I'm assuming he's talking about the Padres. So, Frosty, if you want to stack the Padres, go ahead. I am super tilted that I've been waiting for the Madison Bumgarner implosion, and it comes yesterday. I stack against Bumgarner every slate, and he gets absolutely rocked yesterday when he's not on the main slate. I mean, what? Like, that is
You
my
just
luck,
need to keep
Bills.
doing it though. To be
Yeah.
fair, he got rocked against Houston.
Yeah, he did, and I had Houston that night, but it's just like that was like the really like a big blow up spot, and it wasn't on
Yeah.
the main slate. I mean, what is the chances? But do you have any other pitchers you want to talk about? I mean, I think like Hauser's a hard no for me against Minnesota. Matz, I don't think's bad. I just don't think this Washington lineup is that good, but they do have some guys that can hit lefties. So
Yeah, that's my problem.
I don't think you need to go to Matz today.
Yeah, I mean, no, honestly, I'm just gonna play one of like the like.
I guess the only other guy I'll mention, FanDuel only, Sean Manaea, not someone I wanted against LA, but he's 6,400 there. That is extremely cheap.
That's not that bad. I don't know if I would do it, but that's really, really cheap.
Yeah, I don't know if I do it either, but for tournaments, if you want to just really jam in cores and like maybe some Dodgers or something, I think you can look at him for that price in GPPs. We'll move to stacks, Vales. Obviously, cores is at the top here. We kind of went over Arizona is extremely cheap on DraftKings. That's going to be a lock for me. I'm playing Arizona full stack in cash. You can easily get 5 of them in. I think you can get like John Gray has not been able to get strikeouts this year. I mean, it's kind of been like a slow, like his strikeouts haven't been the same since that like 2018 year, but this year it's been really bad. So I think Arizona just makes sense. You can get the lefties. Christian Walker is someone that has power against righties, so I definitely like them. On the other side, Robbie Ray has allowed 6 home runs this season already. Obviously, the Rockies have a lot of guys that can hit for power against lefties, namely Arenado, Story, Matt Kemp. So I think those guys are great plays. So who are you looking at outside of Coors, which I think is the obvious play there?
I think my favorite one might be the Chicago White Sox. Fulmer's coming back from Tommy John, so he's not going to throw deep into the game, and they more or less get a matchup against Daniel Norris. But for the time that Fulmer is out, which might be 3 innings, his velocity's down like 3 miles an hour on his sinker and fastball. He just doesn't look ready to come back yet. So I have no problems going there because I also don't think that Daniel Norris is a very good pitcher. I think you can go with the Dodgers. Houston makes sense, but it's really hard for me to stack Houston right now. Tampa Bay against Boston, I believe they're running some type of bullpen game, but they're going to have an opener that I don't really love, followed by a long reliever that, again, don't care about very much. Outside of that, I think if you want to take your shot on a team like Texas, we talked about it being pitcher friendly, but I don't believe Dunn's overly good yet, and he isn't going to throw deep into this game. I would say 4 innings max. And Seattle is one of the worst bullpens in the MLB, so you're going to get Texas against one of the worst bullpens. The only issue that I have, obviously, is that they're playing in Texas, and I don't really like the stadium, nor do I think that their offense is anything special. But I do think that it's a tournament option there.
Yeah, I agree. I like the White Sox a lot. I like the Twins a lot every single night, and I don't think they're going to be owned tonight because I think Coors is going to dominate the ownership. So I definitely like the Twins when you can get them low owned. I like the Dodgers a lot. So Richards is not starting, correct? It's Luis Perdomo, who is not super good.
Yeah, but he's only throwing. I think he's only throwing an inning or 2. I think it's Quantrill.
Yeah, because he's been out of the bullpen. So you're going to get a mixture of him, and Quantrill really isn't that great either. That was one of the guys that was supposed to be decent. One of their prospects never really panned out. So I think the Dodgers are right there. And this is a night, dude. You're going to get the Dodgers and you're going to get the Twins extremely low owned because literally everybody's playing Coors. I mean,
Yep.
this is a good tournament slate. Colin has a good question. How do you guys typically handle chalk? I think that for me personally, you kind of have to decide what you think is good chalk and what's bad chalk. Obviously, I don't have the exact answers to that. If I did, I would probably not be on this live stream because I would just be printing money every single day. But no, I'm just kidding. I would still be on the stream just because this is what I love to do. So even if I was printing, I would still be on here. But I just don't have the answers to that. But I think in the long run, if you have a legitimate process that you feel good about, that you trust, I think that you can identify what you feel is good chalk, what's bad chalk. For cash games, it's more often than not better to just play the chalk. In most sports, I will say baseball's the one sport that I play a little bit different. It's extremely variant. If talking about the only way to score points in baseball is your four or five at bats, right? Like you're not
Mhm.
scoring fantasy points unless you have an at bat or you get on base and then you can get a steal or a run or whatever. That's the only way to score points. It's not like basketball where people have the ball in their hands and stuff like that. So, you know, I think that I build my lineups a little bit differently in baseball. I don't typically worry about ownership as much. But if we're talking football and basketball, like if you get a cheap running back or something like that, it's better to just play them in cash and then decide if they're good or bad chalk, and then you can play them in tournaments, based on that.
Yeah, I pretty much do it the same way. You generally just eat chalk in cash games, unless like you really have a feeling that it's bad, and then make your pivots in tournaments.
Yeah, it's easier. It's easier to play chalk pitchers in cash unless
Mhm.
pitching is something that I love to research. That's what I research the most heavily. So it's easier for me to identify if I don't like something being chalk. But it is easier to play chalk at pitcher because that they're gonna throw their X amount of pitches most times. Whereas the batters are just gonna get like I don't think you ever really have to play a chalk stack. Chords is obviously a different situation though.
Yeah, Coors is the exception of it.
Frosty said if Ben won 10 millimakers, he would still be up. Writing building blocks, that is a fact, Frosty. I still would do that. But all right, let's head to the positions, Bales. I'll let you start out at catcher.
I mean, if you want to, just go ahead and throw Carson Kelly in, assuming he's starting. He's only 3,900. Outside of that, Wilson Ramos hits left-handed pitching well. I know we like Patrick Corbin. He's only 2,800. If you don't want to go there, Kevin Plawecki's only 29 and hits left-handed pitching relatively well. Um, Michael Perez is 3,200. Stassi, assuming he's in the lineup, is 3,200. And then if you want to go a little bit more expensive, you have Grandal at 4,700. I would have no problem there. He hits left-handed pitching well, so when he gets his matchup against Norris, that'll help him quite a bit. That's more or less what I'm going. I guess Jan Gomes, he's only 3,200. You can go there if you want, but it seems like you're either going to play Carson Kelly or probably punt the position unless you're more or less stacking the White Sox, in which Grandal makes sense.
Yeah, whoever's a catcher for Arizona, I think is a great cash game play. Do we know is Steven Vogt going to get in the lineup or what's going on there? Because he's
Right
really
now,
cheap.
it's projected for Carson Kelly.
All right, well we'll have to see what the lineup is when that comes out. I do like Jan Gomes against the lefty at his price, and I do like Max Stassi. Jack just brought this up in chat, but I don't know what's gotten into Max Stassi, but he is like smashing the ball, and obviously gets a lefty in Shamanai tonight. So definitely think you're just saving here. Once again, if you spend up, it's Grandal, I think, if you're picking one. Do you agree with that?
Yep.
I'm always apt to play Grandal over Riomuto, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, first base. I mean, in cash games, if Jake Lamb gets in there, extremely cheap. Again, we'll just have to wait and see what their lineup looks like. Max Muncy, I like in GPPs. I don't mind Daniel Vogelbach in tournaments, even though I like Gibson. I think you can always use him as like a one-off, hoping for a home run. And obviously, kind of the same situation, but whoever gets in for the Rays at first base, I think could be interesting as well.
Yeah, I like that. I'll add Matt Olson is 4,700. I can't imagine many people go there. Howie Kendrick is 4K against a lefty. I know you absolutely love Howie Kendrick against lefties.
Oh my god. Oh, don't even get me started on that.
And CJ Cron's only 3,100. I do like Keuchel tonight, but Cron against a lefty at 3,100, you can consider at really any point in time.
Yeah, so I do think Kendrick's in play. I will not disagree with you. So if anyone's watching this doesn't know, if this was like last week or like 2 weeks ago, Howie Kendrick was like mega chalk against the lefty. I liked Starlin Castro more. Starlin Castro ended up with like 15 points, but of course Howie Kendrick was like 4 for 4 with a home run and all this. It's ridiculous, and I think, dude, since then, Castro's like 9 for his last 19. Like since that day, it's like insane. Like how unlucky I am. It's really crazy, but I do think Kendrick's in play. Second base, Garrett Hampson's leading off, and then you have Kettle Marte from Arizona. I think those are the top two plays clearly for cash games. Starlin Castro, again, I think is in play against the lefty. I do like him. Don't mind. It's tough for me to stack against Dallas Keuchel, so I don't think I want to do that. But you can use Jonathan Scope against the lefty. I don't think it's the worst play, but not somewhere I would go in cash. And then Brandon Lau for the Rays, I do think is in play as well.
Yeah, you pretty much outlined everyone that I was going to say something about. So I had Jose Abreu at first. I forgot about him. Let me just throw him in there.
Third base, I mean, I think you're playing Escobar in cash games is just way too cheap on DK. And then on FanDuel, I think you can play Arenado. I mean, the Arizona prices are just laughable. So
3,700 for a
yeah,
Coors.
what sense does that make? So you're playing him on DK. I think FanDuel you can use Arenado. I don't mind Matt Chapman in GPPs. And then Jake Lamb. Jake Lamb has first base, right? Or am I crazy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's third base as well, but you obviously would be playing Escobar there. So I don't know. I think I'm just playing cores, obviously in cash. But do you have anyone like low owned you like here? I think other than Chapman, it's probably just Moncada, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Moncada is the one that really makes the most sense. Like if you're going for someone that, because everyone's going to play Escobar, and then if they don't, they're probably going to spend up for Arenado. And that, yeah, I think that's probably where I would go.
Yeah, Anthony Rendon against a lefty, I think you can always play. I knew there was someone else, and I was like, who am I missing here?
Yeah, I agree. He's just pretty expensive. 5.3 now.
Yeah, he'll be low owned though. No one plays as Asdrubal Cabrera. He rakes against lefties. Yeah, I don't mind it. I feel like if you're playing as Asdrubal Cabrera though, I don't see a sense in one-offing him. I think at that point you're just stacking the Nationals. I don't think I would really be one-offing Cabrera personally.
Yeah, I doubt I would either. Yandy Diaz, if he's in the lineup. I mean, I know it's righty, but not bad, and I think he's 3,300 or something ridiculous. So
yeah, shortstop Story. Obviously, I think you can play Story. Story kind of fits well with the Arizona stack on DK. I think you can fit Story in since you're playing Escobar at third base. Obviously, Trey Turner's in play every single slate, and he gets a lefty. Can always burn you. Like there's nights where Trey Turner singles in the first inning and just steals second and third, and you're just like, oh my god, dude, it happens all the time, and it's super tilting. So you definitely can use him. I don't really want to use Tatis Jr. against Dustin May, but we have to talk about what he's doing because he is on an absolute tear.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone can really slow him down. So I think you can always at least consider him.
Yeah, I mean, he's on absolute fire. And then if Corey Seager's back in the lineup for the Dodgers, I will definitely be looking at him.
Yeah. You outlined most people. I'll add Ahmed Rosario makes sense in tournaments. If Patrick Corbin's going to get ownership, he's leading off. And Garcia is leading off for the White Sox, so I have no problems there.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Finishing up with outfield, we'll just group all the cores guys together. Like the lefties, like Cole Calhoun from Arizona, I think are the obvious plays. You can get someone like Matt Kemp from the Rockies. So those guys are great cash game plays. You don't need us to tell you that. Joey Gallo is someone I wrote up in my article. Really like him tonight. Don't like the ballpark, but Justin Dunn has just been a disaster ever since he came up for the Mariners. Dating back to last season, allows a 200 ISO to lefties, 50% fly balls. Obviously, Joey Gallo hits fastballs really well. He's 50% fastballs to lefties, so feel really good about Gallo. I like Austin Meadows as well in that Rays game. Both him and Gallo aren't overly expensive. I think you could fit them into cash if you want to. Luis Robert is someone that I'll play every single slate as well. That's someone else I would throw out there.
Yeah, I like that. I'll add Shin-Soo Choo. Just kind of goes with what you were saying about Dunn. He's only 4,200 and leading off. Eloy Jimenez, basically, I'm basically good playing any White Sox tonight. I think that they're going to have a really big night. And then Kevin Pillar is leading off at only 3,000. And then kind of going with Tatis, I feel like Trent Grisham, I'll just say him like every single night because he has so much upside, and like he can turn a walk into 7 fantasy points. So like he doesn't need to do anything ridiculous to score for you. Plus he's 3,600. His price is down, and literally nobody is going to be playing him.
Yeah, Mad Bum just got put on the DL, so
I knew there was a problem because
Man,
he's just not that bad.
it just
Like,
sucks. Sean, thanks for the follow. Oh, our boy Dab King from Discord is in here. What's up? Do you guys like the Mets at all? I do not like the Mets against Corbin. Bales is a Mets fan, so he might disagree with
I
me.
am a Mets fan, and nah, I'm probably nah, not really. I do think they can get to him. I think their offense, they have the type of offense that can get to basically anyone. Um, I wouldn't bet on it, so I just avoid
Yeah,
it.
if you're gonna play Mets tonight, it's J.D. Davis, like Pete
Yep.
Alonso, just guys that can hit home runs. Corbin will give up a home run. I'll take a lone Trout. Yeah, I don't think Trout's gonna have a ton of ownership tonight. Obviously against a lefty, that's really good. So that about does it for outfield though. Before we head out, Bales, home run call for tonight, please.
Jock Peterson.
Okay, I was not expecting that one. I
Yeah,
would
it's like
take the easy way out with Gallo, but I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna go with I'll go with Matt Olson for mine.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take Olson. Tatis greater than Alonso. I agree with that for Rusty.
Frosty is get out of here. Oh, Fernando Tatis. You also thought he should have won Rookie of the Year last year. Ridiculous. No, I'm just kidding.
Did
Tatis
you
is
see
better.
someone tweeted Mike Trout and Fernando Tatis Jr.'s first 100 game stats, and it's pretty
Yeah, yeah.
crazy. And I
And
think
then
Alex
Alex
Rodriguez was in there.
Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah, I saw
crazy.
that.
Is Blackman a lock? No, I don't think he is. I don't think he's a bad play, but I
Super
don't think he's a
expensive, isn't
lock.
he? I remember waking up this morning and logged on, seeing it was like the course slate, and I was looking at price tags, and I thought to myself, man, DraftKings really did a solid job pricing up the Colorado bats. And it turns out they just, decreased Arizona's to go with it.
Yeah, that was pretty. It's pretty bad. I don't know what's going on over there. It's starting to look like FanDuel. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. But thank you guys very much for watching. We appreciate the activity in the chat today. If you guys missed it, Anthony, the boss man himself, took down over $125,000 across FanDuel, DraftKings. Had an outright bet on Colin Morikawa as well to win. So he absolutely crushed the weekend. Crushed with the exact same core plays that were given out to subscribers that paid just $10 a week for PGA. I
Yep.
mean, there's nothing else we can say at this point. I talked at the top of the stream about how Bales and I were in the Discord breaking down the injury news with NBA. It's definitely valuable to pick up a membership. We have affordable memberships. We're not making you spend tons of money like some other sites. We have affordable options if if you're on a budget. $5 for a day. I mean, $5 for a day is worth to try us out. Obviously, you don't get Discord access with that, but I mean, it shows that any slate Anthony can just go crazy, man. For a
Yeah.
100K, it's pretty crazy.
100,000.
But thank you guys for watching. Tomorrow's my birthday. I don't think I will be on the stream, but I will be back on Wednesday. Talk a little baseball, maybe talk some basketball. I'll see. I'll see what's going on Wednesday. But see you guys then.